Yo, 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 what's up, party people? Welcome to another episode of Thrive and Dive, thriving in life by diving into deeper conversations. This podcast exists to help you thrive in life, and we've got a full cast today. We've got the Lexi Randall and the Joshua Glee.
Yeah.
Did I get it right? No way. Let's go. All right. Lexi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And Joshua, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And then Emma, my co-host, how are you doing today?
Amazing.
All right, let's go. So Joshua goes by Glee. I kind of heard a backstory a second ago, but for the podcast, Glee, go ahead and tell us why some call you Glee, some call you Joshua.
So it originated from playing AAU basketball, and there was just a period of time where I was having a little rough stretch, and he would always call me by my first name, and then I started kind of locking in, and he just called me Glee, and has been Glee ever since.
There you go. Your coach will call you Glee when you're locked in.
Yep,
Joshua's unlocked.
Yep.
All right. So if anyone calls, does that still apply under all life circumstances? If people are saying Joshua, it means you're not locked in.
Surprisingly, a lot of people don't know my real name is Joshua, so they kind of just think it's Glee, and that's pretty much it.
That's funny. I did confession. I did have to ask AG, who's been on the podcast before, what your full name was, because you were talking. I was meeting with Lexi the day of that we're filming this, and you mentioned Glee. I'm like, man, who's Glee? I know a Joshua, but I don't know who Glee is. Yeah. So I was like, I had to put it together. Like, it's her boyfriend.
I'm talking about a whole nother person.
I'm like, do I need to do some confrontation here? So Lexi and Glee, go ahead and introduce yourselves to the podcast. Who you are, what are you up to, what season of life are you in?
I'm Alexis, but I go by Lexi, and I'm currently in college right now. I'm in my junior semester, and my education is going to be in special education. Going to be working in the schools and just trying to help kids out. What was the last question?
That's it. Just a little brief introduction. So student at Warren University. Let's go.
Yes.
And then Glee, a little introduction of yourself.
My name is Glee, and I'm graduating May 2nd with my master's in business administration. And I'm looking into going into coaching and teaching physical education.
Love it. Let's go. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and start there. Lexi, talk to us about why you're pursuing a special education degree. Why is your heart sought after that?
I'll be honest, guys. When I signed up for Warner, I accidentally clicked ESE because it's had the K through 12, so that was by accident. I think God has been using it to I've been drawn towards it more now. Wow. I had a class last year, and they were showing us, a handful of disabilities, and we had to do research projects. Mine was on being deaf-blind, and I didn't realize that you don't have to be fully blind to be considered blind, probably to a certain extent, and then they will say that you're blind, and then also hearing impaired. You don't have to be fully deaf to be called deaf. So I learned a lot from that class, and I also learned a little bit of Braille, which was cool. Oh, wow. So that was cool. I learned.
Can you read it fluently?
No. I could that day though. I know what this means for 30 minutes after the class, and then I forgot. But that was just cool. And then I just kind of kept with it just because I was like, okay, let me seek this out, see how it looks. And then once I go in the classroom, I'm thinking that I might be working with deaf people or blind people. But I'm actually working with students who they have cognitive disabilities where they can't maybe read on the same pace as, so I want to do 7th grade. So if they're 7th grade, they're probably on a 2nd grade level or 3rd grade, maybe not too far. They could be on a 5th grade, but just lower cognitive abilities. And I could also work with people who have ADHD. So there's a bigger spectrum than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And, it's difficult, but I thought it was going to be impossible. I'm I don't know how I'm going to help them. So class has been really helping me. And I think it's something that I definitely want to do. So it's weird. I did this on an accident, and God used it.
When you say an accident, you said because it says K through 12 and you wanted to do K through 12 schooling, and you didn't realize it was special education regarding K through 12.
Yeah.
Wow. You got some experience with special education, right? You worked a job?
Yeah. I used to be a registered behavior technician, and I worked as a speech pathologist in special education schools. A lot of mine was autism and stuff, and never in middle school, but it's interesting, middle school.
Yeah, everyone thinks that is interesting. interesting that I want to do middle school. But
yeah, because middle school's already tough by
Yeah.
like itself in terms of just the craziness of kids, and then obviously added the layer of being cognizant of the disabilities and the educational things. Is wow, that's so noble of you.
I think middle schools were like there might be like a missing, I don't know, punch in the school system because in elementary you have all the loving teachers and then they pass you up to middle school and it's just like I don't know what happened to this kid. Then they get in high school and it's just a downhill trend from there. So I feel like middle school can make a big impact. Obviously anywhere you can make a big impact.
Sure.
But I know just from experience of like being with the teachers, like some of them don't take their job as like seriously as, you know, it is. And I want to be different. So
That's awesome. Yeah, both my parents are middle school teachers, so it's
cool.
a great mission field, great ministry opportunity, and transformational to that season, like you said, of their lives. That middle school is such a blur. Even for me, looking back, I remember elementary school being whatever, and then high school. But the middle 3 years were like, whoa, what happened those 3 years?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like
Especially puberty and all that stuff.
They just came out of middle school. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
people will be
something can happen
throwing
there.
hands and getting crazy. And just, so wow, that's so awesome, Lexi. And you're currently doing like a practicum this past semester or something. You're doing some educational experience in a classroom.
Yeah, so this is my first time doing like a practicum in a classroom, and I'm just like observing the teacher, observing the students, and then once I got a little bit more comfortable, I was a little bit more hands-on. I will say that I'm a little scared of the kids, not in a bad way. I'm scared that they won't like me, so I wasn't like as like hands-on at first. But then once I started talking to them, I'm like, they don't care. They're just trying to learn, and they just want to be here too, just like me. Like, you know, if someone's willing to help me, I'll take the help. You know what I mean? So.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it definitely changed my outlook on like, you know, trying to help them because one, also they don't need a friend. They don't need to like me either. I can just help them, you know?
Sure.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Over to you, Glee. Glee, what's the heart behind wanting to be a coach? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Coach.
Talk to us about that.
Well, I've been playing basketball or really any sport since I was 5, so I've always been around it. And during like the past 4 or 5 summers, I've been working at a summer camp. So I think, or that made me realize I enjoy being with kids. And then just hearing some of the backstories from some of the parents or like the counselors who've had those kids before, you know, like you never know like the at-home life. So I feel like that few hours at camp, like that could be what, you know, gets them through. So I think being able to, I guess, shine my light, so to speak, to the kids and allow them to just enjoy that could make all the difference. And then as far as coaching, you know, I want to stay as close to basketball as I can. I feel like it kind of mixes being with kids and being next to the sport. So kind of the best of both worlds in that.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Both you guys have such great explanations for why you want to do what you want to do. And I love how, you know, education, coaching is the vehicle by which you get to minister to kids.
Yes.
So cool. You know, God has gifted us with gifts to be used. And when we think of ministry, sometimes we just think of the church or a missionary or this or that. But what you guys are doing is ministerial in the sense that you're in the people business. You're impacting lives. So, Glee, what's your like target age you want to coach? Is it high school, college, middle school, grammar school?
I think in the beginning, I don't think I'm opposed to anything, but preferably high school. And I've been volunteering at Hillcrest Elementary. I don't know if you know that school, but I don't know. I want to coach competitively versus like, you know, just for fun. But
Sure.
hanging out with the kids, like I wouldn't mind coaching any level at this point. But somewhere down the road, high school.
Yeah, for sure.
Level.
Yeah, so basketballer since 5 years old, right? You played at Warner University?
Yep, since 2020.
Since 2020.
Oh,
wow. I just missed you because I graduated in
Shouldn't say that on
2019.
here.
Yeah. It's okay. Confession time. That's awesome. Great. And talk to us a little bit about your story with basketball and just that journey, if you don't mind.
Basketball, obviously, I think God used that as a way to, you know, get me to come to him. Because I feel like, crazy enough, the year that I didn't play basketball, this following year, I feel like this is the year I've gotten the closest with him. So I think he used basketball to get me to that point. But yeah, just ever since I was 5, I just fell in love with it. And I've gotten a lot of connections and relationships through it. And I think that's just always been a way for me to connect with other people. And And once you get to know me, I have a basketball analogy for everything. So that's even how I communicate. But yeah, it's just always been basketball for as long as I knew.
That's great. And then Lexi, you play basketball at Warren University too. What's your story with sports and basketball specifically?
So I'm thankful, but when I was younger, my brothers forced me to play
Oh,
basketball.
snap. Shout out to the brothers.
Yes, thank you guys for forcing me to play basketball. And my brothers would always bet on me, like, I bet my sister can whoop you in basketball. And I was like, I'm not that
They're confident in you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
they would be a little too confident. I'm like, why are you putting me out there like that? But yeah, that was like a cool thing. I didn't know that I would come to love it, but yeah, the whole family just enjoys basketball. So when I moved to Florida with my dad, my brothers were living with him. So then we all joined my dad's team. He had a Y team, so we all joined. And I was like the only girl on there. So
represent.
Yeah. My dad loved that. He would play me and my brothers. So that was cool. And then they actually drew, like, one of the fans drew like kind of like caricatures of us. So that's cool. We have that from back in the day. But
this is on your guys' wall, framed and everything.
yeah, my dad has it in the house.
Oh, that's awesome.
He has like pictures of me now too from my college, like in the house.
Wow.
Listed up, right? Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, my dad's very happy that I'm playing in college too, because my brothers didn't go on to play at a higher level. So yeah,
gotcha.
I'm carrying on the family name right now.
There you go. Yeah, no stress, no burden there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And the support from your father is so cool. I've got some more questions, but you want to?
Yeah. How did you guys find Warner? Was it through basketball or something else?
Okay, so I found Warner because I had gone to a school before. I took time off, and then I came back. But I was looking at a different school, a few other schools, and I went to what do you call it? Like when you play, and like kind of like a practice.
Yeah, a tryout.
Yeah. One of those. Yeah. I went to it.
Yeah.
I went to a tryout, and it was for like HCC. But I was really out of shape, guys. I had like taken a few years off. Mind you, I only played 2 years of basketball in high school because I hurt myself. So going into college, it was just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do this. So I went to the tryout. They said they didn't have a spot for me, but they did send my film out to other coaches, which was really cool because I've never like heard any coach that would do that. So they sent it to other schools. One was Warner. And at the time I was like, okay, I'm going to apply to all these schools. I visited a few. I visited Weber. I visited Weber, St. Thomas. I visited a few schools, and then I was like, I think I want to go where the Christian life is. That's really what was my main like thing. And I was like, this is perfect. So then they sent me an offer letter, but it was for JV. But then once I did come on the team, they kind of promoted me to the varsity level. So it was a whole process.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that was cool.
So I don't know if you know Coach Matt and Coach Han.
Yep.
I was getting recruited from Kaiser, St. Thomas, Warner, and one other school. It was in like a cold state, but
you're like, nope, off the list.
But they definitely built that connection with me early, and then they came to like way too many games. Like they came to games they didn't have to come to. And then during my high school season, I got hurt, and they still were coming to the games even though I was hurt. So I feel like building that, like they made it seem like they really wanted me. And like compared to the other schools, I'm like, they're making an effort, and they had a good relationship with my parents, and like they were the main reason I came. And obviously it being a Christian school was a big, my parents loved that. But yeah, they did a lot of things they didn't have to do, and I appreciated them for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So shout out to Coach Hannerhan and Coach Horn. If you're listening to this, let's go. Air horn for you guys. There you go. And shout out to that coach giving your film out to other colleges. Yeah, if you're listening, Let's
All
go.
sound effects today.
That's awesome. I know you guys mentioned it. I'm like, I gotta use it more. I can multitask.
How do
Yeah.
you even remember each one?
Yeah, they're labeled.
Oh,
Sometimes I
okay.
forget, like that trombone or the wah, wah, wah was late
Okay.
because I couldn't remember which one it was. It would ruin the moment if I hit the wrong one. So, you guys both mentioned in that explanation to how you found Warner that it being a Christian school was a positive thing that drew you towards it. I'd love to hear your guys' faith story and share what has faith been like for you guys growing up, and then eventually I want to hear how it's grown since being at Warner. But we'll start towards the earlier parts of your lives. What's faith like been for you guys?
Okay. So when I was younger, I was kind of in and out of church. My mom, we went to a church when we were younger, but she didn't stay consistent in that church. I'm not sure what happened. I think something happened between her and the pastors or whatnot, because we'd never gone to church after that, really, unless it was like on our own. She would allow us, like if family wanted to take us, that was fine. But a cool story too, because I don't know if this is like a thing, but it was where I was from. There was a small church. It was only for like kids. So it was like a youth church. They would send out buses to the neighborhoods. And I'm talking about like an hour away neighborhoods, like around the surrounding city. And they would like bus us into the campus. And it was really cool. And I'm talking about like probably at least 10 school buses full of children going into a church. And they would, when we went into the church, they called it like a snack bag. So they would give us like a honey bun and a few snacks while we went into the church. Because the surrounding cities, like we lived in like a poverty neighborhood. It wasn't like a, fancy, nice, kids are coming there hungry, they might not have money because they did have snack bar, but that you had to pay for that. So they're basically providing food for kids as they come in. And then as you leave, you also get like a snack as well. So that was pretty cool. I had a really good experience with that church. And I definitely saw the Holy Spirit work through that church in me as well. When I was about like 12, I had moved around a lot when I was younger. But when I was 12, I had been in foster care and gotten out by then. So after that, I had gone into like a mental hospital just because a lot was going on. I was kind of lashing out on my mom. She didn't know what to do because she has 4 kids. So she doesn't want anyone getting hurt or anything like that. But I was like kind of getting physical. So she had to take it to the next level. I went to the hospital, and my pastor that was at that same church, he was there, and I heard his voice. And then he had a conversation with me. I kind of forget all of the ins and outs of the conversation, but it was basically, I knew after we prayed and everything, and that definitely had a huge impact on me. And I was like, I never want to come here again. Like whatever I have to do, I don't want to be away from my family. So I think that was like the younger part of like, my faith and everything like that. It was really cool how like God used the church that I was in, and just basically came full circle because I had been out of the church for a while until that moment. So
Wow, what a man! Thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah.
What a contrast. Not to disparage that one church your mom had issue with, but
it was the same church.
oh, what's the same church
Yeah.
that bused you back and forth?
Yeah.
Really?
Same
Oh,
church.
okay. Never mind. Not a
Yeah.
contrast. So, what quite different experiences. Again, we don't need to get into specifics what your mom had issue with the church, but I just love how they went out of their way to bus kids like an hour away.
Yeah.
Like what a mission. That's awesome intentionality, and yeah, it definitely had a. I mean, I think churches when they do service like that, it just I don't know packs a punch behind their messages and the people when they care for you. So that same pastor was the one that spoke to you. You're mentioning,
Yes,
wow, from the
yeah.
same church. That's
I'd
so
been
cool.
out of church probably for at least maybe 5 years, but I remembered him and he remembered me.
Oh, okay. So you were there as a child,
Yeah.
and then 5 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool, man. Nice. Thanks for sharing that, Lexi. Yeah. What about you, Glee? What's faith like been for you growing up?
So up until my grandpa's a pastor, so I grew up in a Christian household. But once my grandma passed away, I feel like the family it wasn't really like forced upon me, or I wasn't like exposed to it. Like I would in and out of church every now and then, but not anything like consistent. And then I came to Warner, And I don't know if you know Blaze Darling.
I've heard of him. He seems
Yeah.
like quite the guy.
Yeah.
His reputation precedes him.
Yeah. He was my roommate for 4 years, and he was, you know, deep in his faith, and he didn't push it on. Like I you know, I had a good background, you know, I guess the basics, but you know, he would plant the seeds of, you know, giving me wisdom and, you know, just kind of pointing me to God, like always pointing me to God whenever he could. But I think being at Warner and being exposed to it allowed me to, I guess, it was all in God's timing, but it kind of like, it didn't force it on me. I kind of came to it naturally. And then, of course, I think God used basketball to, you know, get me to where I'm at now. And like I said earlier, like, I feel like the year I didn't play basketball is the year I grew the most in my faith. So, yeah, I'm getting stronger in my faith every day, and I'm trying to be more intentional with everything I do, and, you know, getting in the word, and not only like getting the wisdom, but trying to apply the wisdom and lead by example, so to speak. But yeah, definitely different now than when I was younger. But
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, and shout out to Blaze if you're watching, man. That just speaks to the
Blaze.
power. Speaks to the power of just, you know, someone being consistent in their faith and pushing. You know, someone like you at that time, and you're like, wow, this guy's taking it seriously. I'm assuming he's a genuine, nice guy, and just a likable character. I picture him just being like another AG or something, based on what I hear of him. So, but I don't know if they're similar in personality and stuff. But yeah, what a cool story for sure. So you kind of answered my next question with how faith has transformed through Warner. So I'll go ahead and go back to you, Lexi. What's you shared about your experience with faith, you know, growing up, but since going to Warner, how has your faith grown or changed?
Yeah, I would say since entering the bubble, I think
The bubble.
the bubble because
the Warner bubble.
Yes, because there's just so many influences of Christ that like it's different than going back home, you know. But I would say I definitely have been positively influenced, and I've had to like realize a lot of things about myself that I maybe wouldn't have if I was still at home in like my home environment. I think that it has definitely brought me community, and then definitely education. So like those three things, kind of just realizing the cycles that I'm in, realizing the community that I have around me and that they're able to speak into my life, and then definitely educating myself and just definitely trying to educate my family, but on like just things around me. The more I learn, the like more my faith grows. It's like, wow, like God is real, seriously.
That's awesome. Also, beautiful testament to Warner being a safe bubble, safe place where you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm getting rejuvenated. I feel like I'm getting encouraged. I feel like I'm being challenged even, but it's sort of like a refreshment. That's great to hear. As someone who works at Warner, you know, that's awesome. Like everyone who works at Warner heard that.
Just give me a scholarship.
Yeah. There you go. Let's go. I've got another question, but it switches gears. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully this isn't getting too much into your guys' personal lives, but you guys are both on the podcast. This is awesome. Talk to us about, if you don't mind, dating at Warner / in college, and maybe some advice to our fellow college students that might be listening to your guys' stories, as you guys are, from what I hear, 6 months dating. Is that what you're telling me, Glee? Yeah, 6 months some change. Yeah.
Be fresh, guys.
Let's go. Awesome.
You can go first.
There you go first.
I think, I'm sure everyone has heard like communication is key. Like I think it, like from the outside looking in, it sounds cliche, but it really is true. I think communication and patience, and, you know, trying to build something with someone else is not always the easiest thing, but I feel like having Christ-like characteristics makes it not easier, but, you know, you're trying to do these things the right way. And that would be the main two off the top of my head.
Love it. That's good. Communication and Christ-like characteristics. Yeah. What would you add to that, Lexi?
I would say, what was the verse? Ecclesiastes 11?
11:4.
11 verse 4. So when we first started dating, I was a little afraid and I wasn't sure, but the verse in Ecclesiastes 11 says that, you know, you can't be sure of all things. Sometimes you have to take a chance. So that's my encouragement. Take a chance.
Wow. That's cool. Take a chance. take an educated chance for sure.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, for sure.
Hope it works out.
I was educated. I was just
Do you
scared.
research? Does the person love Jesus? You know, How do they enjoy your family?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I've heard it said. There's probably a song that talks about this. But love is risky, right? It's
Yeah.
like you're putting yourself out there to someone, and you can't control them, right? Even Emma and I, as a married couple, it's like, you know, I trust that she's gonna love me. She trusts that I'm gonna love her, right? But because we have human agency,
Free
autonomy,
will.
free will, right? It's not like we're now programmed to always love each other every day. And similarly with your guys in your dating relationship, right? Sometimes it's like, I know this is gonna be a great fit, but man, I'm still taking a chance, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I think it's how God intended it, right? Because the Bible talks a lot about walking by faith and not by sight, which means we might not see all the answers, we might not see the full path, but that's just part of the journey, right? So, in combination with wisdom, prudence, and good dating practices, at the same time, though, take that step. Is that what you said? What's the word you said?
Yeah. I said
that
take
step.
take a chance.
Take a
Yeah.
chance. Take that step. I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. So those who are in the phase and college years, I don't know why I'm looking at that camera. Oh, look at this here. There used to be a camera right there. So I got to reprogram myself to look this way. Hope that was helpful to you guys. You got some more questions, Emma?
I love, Lexi, how open your heart has been and how obedient you have been, just like through everything that you've shared with us this far, that like you accidentally clicked on Warner going ESC, you're taking a chance dating. There was something else you mentioned too that I'm like, I don't know why I'm forgetting, but just that obedience is so great to hear.
Thank you.
I don't have a question.
No, that's a great commentary. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Amen and amen to that. Yeah. This question is more to you, Lexi, since you are on our spiritual life team at Warner University. Represent. And we've had many spiritual life team members on the podcast, so happy to have you on. Talk to us what it means for you to like. So you've been receiving. You're in the bubble, right? The Christian bubble at Warner, and you're being poured into. What does it look like to give out? How have you been ministering to people, whether it's on the spiritual life team, whether it's on your basketball team, whether it's other places and spaces? How does that look like for you?
I'm kind of, I feel like I actually have drawn back a little bit this year, trying to pour into myself. So it definitely looks a little different. I think this year, just seeing people for who they are versus like what I want to see them as, I think that's I'm kind of getting to know myself and kind of, in a sense, like retrain myself to not be judgmental towards people. And then after I do that, get my mind right, I'm able to do things like choir, kind of choir and basketball, and just talking about my faith in general. I think it encourages people. We had like an awards ceremony last night for like sports, but they brought faith into it as well. And I was nominated for a few. I was a little surprised, but not to say like, not to pat my own back, but I'm saying like, I didn't realize the impact that I was making. And then God kind of showed me like, okay, you are making an impact. So I would say, like, I'm just going to be honest again. Like, I don't feel like I'm pouring out as much this season just because I'm trying to re-get my mind right, and definitely trying to pour into my team next year. But I think it takes a little bit of recuperation after this season.
Yeah. Well, I love your honesty. Thanks, Lexi, for just being so transparent. And I think there's a good principle in that, though. I might be putting words in your mouth, but this is how I hear it, is that you can't pour out of an empty bucket, right?
Yeah.
You can't minister to someone if you're not in a space and place to do so. And also, when it comes to ministering to others, as you clearly have been doing, the words speak for themselves, right? To the glory of God. Even when you feel like you're not all in and you're like, oh, I could do better. It's okay, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes good enough is good enough, and God is using you. And it's great that you have that mentality that I want to do more next year. I want to serve more. I want to minister to more. But let's not, what's the word? Put pressure on ourselves or beat ourselves up. Because I think that can happen a lot. It's like, man, I could have done more, right?
I do that a lot.
Or like I've lost time. I've lost so much time in my life when I could have been doing this, right? You know, God is good, and He's going to use every moment, regardless of how much we feel like we didn't do as much as we could. So
yeah. And I'm not waiting until next school year. I'm definitely going to start like in the summer with my family and everything like that. But yeah.
That's awesome. It's cool. And obviously, since you're on my spiritual life team, I've gotten to see you more in action than Glee specifically. But I think, man, just so cool to see your big heart for people and just your, yes, it's interesting that, again, thank you for your honesty with sometimes I feel like I'm judging people in my mind, but honestly, you're like one of the least judgy people I think I've met on campus. Like you just seem so, you're so chill and cool. And like, you're just like, you'll hang and minister to anybody, based on what I've seen. So thanks for sharing that though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe I gotta change the positive side of me.
Yeah.
I think too, like your witness is so important too, that even if you're not like directly ministering to girls on your team, like they're still seeing you and like seeing how you live your life, and that witness and that like quiet witness is so important to like, oh, like these are the things like Lexi's doing. You know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think so too. I think he's making an impact on them. I'm a little scared, especially with my teammates next year. I might have to be like one of the leaders on the team.
Hey, let's go.
And it's like all you leaders know. You know.
There you go. Let's go.
You guys know you don't want to be a leader. And then God is like, well, that sucks. Let's do it. Just like he said with Moses. But he's going to give me a tool just like he did with Moses too. So
Sure.
I don't know what's going to be, but we're going to see next year.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's awesome, Lexi. Glee, did you mention earlier before we went on the podcast that you graduate with your master's in May?
Oh, yes, sir.
So this May.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
So
a week, I think.
let's go.
Wow.
Well, congrats. You might have
appreciate
graduated by the time it gets out. So if that's the case.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
But what's next? Do you know? I'm sure you get this question a lot.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I've been helping out with Hillcrest,
Oh,
the
yeah.
elementary school. So I've been in talks with them, and kind of like what I said with the summer camp, a lot of those kids, early, when I was speaking to this principal, she was saying like a lot of the kids don't have male figures in their life, and
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot of black kids that go there, and she was saying a lot of them. So she was saying that I would be a perfect fit for the physical education aspect and it being sports. I feel like I probably speak the best through sports, but I have a couple of tests I have to take, and a couple of certifications I have to get. But long story short, hopefully, God willing, I get the job over there and then coach at Lake Wales High School. The women's coach just retired, so hopefully I can be on the staff over there.
Wow.
But that's the plan as of now. Yeah.
That's awesome. So sticking around.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good. Great. I don't, yeah. Like, yes. All right, Lord, if you will. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's
Definitely
go.
praying on it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Well, thanks for sharing that, Glee. Super cool. Well, guys, thanks for coming on the pod. Yeah. Is there any final words you want to share as we close this out?
Do we get to ask you a question?
Oh, if you really want to. We got a couple minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
You guys are married.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is some good advice for, keeping the relationship,
Fresh?
Yeah.
Keeping the spark.
Yeah.
You want to go or me?
Sure. I feel like
Wait, I think I have one
oh.
question before. How
Yeah.
long, before you guys got married, how long were you dating?
we were dating for five
We
and a half
dated for
months.
6 months,
Yeah,
got
6.
engaged, and then 4 months of engagement. So 11 months of dating / engagement. Yeah.
So, but you guys are a little bit. How old are you?
I'm
Sorry.
27.
I'm 28.
That's
yeah.
not rude, is it?
No,
Okay.
nah,
No,
nah.
I was
Some
wondering-
people think it's rude, but I
Yeah.
don't care.
Okay, so we're not crazy. Okay, go.
yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we're still like in this honeymoon phase, but as far as keeping the freshness alive, I just feel so excited to come home to you every day that I don't know that I've had to do anything like special to keep it like fresh. Cause I mean, I wake up every day and I'm like excited to have another day with you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know how I piggyback off that. Yeah, I mean, there is this reality that, yeah, we are still in the honeymoon season in the sense of we're not married for 10 plus years, right? So I'm always weary of giving advice as someone who's so newly into the game in my rookie season on married life. But from what I've heard from other people that have been in the game for 30 plus years, and plus what I've observed and what we've experienced is that it doesn't necessarily mean, and I hope this comes off right, there's a spark, 100%. I'm thankful every day to be married to my sweet Emma, but it's like, it's not about necessarily the emotional feeling of, yeah, I just, head over heels like that first day that I met you kind of thing, which I am. I mean, in the sense, I feel like I'm digging a hole here, but it's like, it's more about commitment, right? It's more about love is a verb, not a feeling. It can't just be a feeling because we have good days and we have bad days. And if I just chose to not love Emma on a bad day that I have, that would be not what God has called me to do. And in Ephesians 5, it talks about husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And how did Christ love the church? He died for her. So I don't know if he felt like dying for the church, right? I mean, Jesus said in the Garden of Gethsemane, God, if it's your will, let this cup pass me. He's, sweating drops of blood. He's just so like anxious, right? But not your will, but not my will, but your will be done. So in the sense of like, he wasn't necessarily up to dying for us in the sense of like, if there was another way, he would love to choose that option. So similarly, even if I'm not up to the relationship or the spark is not as sparkly as it was months or years ago, is no, my love for her is unconditional, right? Just like God showed unconditional love for us, loving us at our worst. And Emma's worst is not that bad, so it's pretty easy. I've never seen her get mad at me yet. So, but that's what I'd say. That's how I'd answer the spark question. Yes, there's a spark, 100%. I want to make sure that's clear. But it's not about feelings; it's about commitment. So, yeah.
I have another question to go with the married dating thing. So obviously social media and just like influence of the world is like a huge thing. Like how do you guys go about kind of clearing your mind and kind of not basing like your ideals of relationships and like what you should do on the outside world, if that makes
Yeah, you talking about influences. Can you define that for me? I think I know what you're saying, but I just want to make sure I'm clear. Like in terms of this is the picture perfect relationship, or
kind of similar like that? Because you guys said you got engaged after like 6 months, right? So it's like some people are like that's too quick, and then some people are like that's perfect. Like there's like a huge like timeline kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
the influence of expectations based on other people's maybe, and they're like, whoa, I can't believe that. Or, the peanut gallery is always going to exist, right? We didn't have that big of a peanut gallery. I don't think, a couple people were like, whoa, like 6 months. But most people were like, we are on the older side of things in the sense of like, I think both my siblings got married 21, 22, so maybe there's a thought to wait until you're financially, I don't know. I don't have even then the whole financially secure thing. There's never gonna be a moment where we're like financially secure. Like, do we have kids yet? We're not. Yeah. I mean, it is prudent. I'm not minimizing that, but it does help when we're both out of college already. Both have big boy, big girl jobs. It definitely plays a factor because finances is usually a big burden that can pull people apart. I forget what the big three are. I think it's sex, finances, and there's something else. I can't remember the third one. But those are typically the big things that can...
Probably kids.
Kids, maybe. But so that is important and prudent. And I think with the stage we were at, we're like, all right, this is good. And we had clarity of heart and mind. We fasted about whether we are going to go the distance or not for us. And even that, I don't want that to be an expectation for anybody. Right? Just like you're saying, even whether it's a worldly influencer or even a Christian influencer, everybody's dating journey is different in terms of timeline and when they felt that peace and know, yes, this is a great decision to take a chance, right? I took a chance and I proposed and she said yes. But
a calculated chance.
Okay,
we talked about it for 6 months.
Yeah.
She said yes.
It's actually the 5th time I asked her. So don't let the pressure of everybody, have good role models. And I mean, hopefully our timeline is maybe encouraging or not more encouraging than discouraging or anything. So, but definitely take the average out of everybody's maybe experience. And I mean, it wasn't, I don't have any specifics, but it wasn't always cupcakes and rainbows. Like we had to have deeper conversations about different things, whether it's insecurities or vision for the future or this or that. So, so I hope that answers your question. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah. I would say like dealing with the influences of like other people's opinion. Since we had fasted and prayed about it and we both felt a huge peace about like this was the next step that we were going to take together, I felt like the outside noise didn't matter as much because we both felt like that confirmation and peace from the Lord that like, okay, yes, we are going to get engaged and we are going to get married on this timeline. So I mean, just you got your answer and rolled with it.
So being obedient in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll just say from an observational level, I mean, I've seen people who are a lot younger than us get married as fast as we did. I think being older did help. It really did. I knew my maturity or my immaturity would have be affected my decision making if like me and Emma met 5 years ago. Would I have married her or got engaged to her in 6 months? I don't know. It's hypothetical. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But the Lord did a long work on me in my season of singleness until I met her when I was 28 or 27, whatever age I was when I met you. So yeah.
Okay. Questions?
That was good.
We'd like to come back.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Come back.
Anytime. It doesn't even have to be on the podcast. Love that. Sit down with y'all if you need we're not experts or anything, but yeah. And you came to one of my deeper relationship series at Warner. Yeah. They're all on YouTube, all on Spotify if you want to watch. I gave 4 lessons, and then Emma and I did like a bonus episode after each one, unpacking it together as a couple.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
yeah, I can share that with you.
I think another series that is helpful, and I might have mentioned it on the podcast before, but Joe B. Martin, if you look up the
Church of 1122.
Yeah, he has a Song of Solomon series that was really helpful when we were dating, and to like go through that, it had a bunch of different stages, really unpacked like the dating and engagement. I think even marriage and kids, like he went all the way. So that was a really good series to just like, we would each watch it individually, take some notes, and then talk about it together.
Yeah, that was helpful. So Joe B. Martin, Church 1122, Song of Solomon's. Search that; it should come. And if you guys are big readers, I mentioned these books in that deeper relationship series, Single Engaged or Single Married Dating Engaged by Ben Stewart. I always get that mixed up. It's like a tongue twister. And then Not Yet Married by Marshall Siegel are 2 great resources that we had, and many others as well. But we're happy to share what we've been given. We would love to freely give. But yeah, great questions.
I had one more question.
This will be our final one.
Okay. I was wondering, so obviously you said you guys do like the kind of like studies together. How do you like apply that? Like, how do you, I don't know if that how do you apply that to like dating and just life in general? Like, how does that look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great question, Lexi, because you still are you're not yet married, right? So maybe how it looks is a little different in the dating phase, even the marriage phase. Though it's been a short, we haven't been married that long. We each have our own personal relationship with God, and we each do our own studies separately. It's not like we're always doing Bible study together, you know. But on the dating phase, when we did read, we read The Single Married, that book, Ben Stewart, and we read a book called Love and Respect. We read those separately. We were doing long distance at the time. And then basically how we did it, and this may not be for everybody, but we brought our books to our date, and we're like, what stood out to you? Oh, I like this part. Ooh, what stood out to you? Oh, I like this part. And then we just kind of talked about what stood out to each other. We would highlight it as we read, and like, ooh, how am I doing on this part? Ooh, how am I doing on this part? So I think you can do that pre-marriage. You can talk about that stuff now if you feel led to do so. But there's no right or wrong way of doing it. Yeah.
I think, just having that humility too of like, how am I doing in this area? Or like even going forward, since we weren't married when we did one of these, we would highlight things that we could like foresee. Maybe this would be an issue when we get married. And think, I don't think we've had to revisit any of those, but that's definitely something you could do. Like, okay, this I thought was going to be an issue. Is it actually an issue? Is this something I need to work on? And just like taking intentional dates to do those things.
Yeah, carving out time, and then you already kind of alluded to it, and being vulnerable, right? Yeah. If we're not able to be vulnerable with each other, like who else are we going to be vulnerable with? Obviously, it's good to have guy mentors for me, girl mentors for her, but in terms of insecurities is a big issue in relationships when they're not dealt with, in the sense of like, oh, she did something that touched one of my insecurity buttons, and if she doesn't know I'm insecure in that way, without getting to specifics, because we can talk about that off air. It's like, you got to reveal it. You got to expose it. You got to be vulnerable. So I don't know how that answered that. Oh, no, I can't remember what the original question was, but yeah, basically you were talking about how do you, in the dating phase, do the studies and stuff like that. Yeah. Openness is important. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Great questions.
Yeah, I loved it.
I would love to talk with you more for sure. But yeah, well, shout out. Where's my applause button? There we go. Shout out to Glee, not Lee, and Lexi. I was combining them. So yeah, big applause. They're going for a while there. But I hope you guys found this helpful. Yeah, this is Thrive and Dive. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to smash that like button if you're listening on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube if you enjoy the content. If you're listening on Spotify and you haven't followed us yet, be sure to do so. And if you really like this show, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. But until then, we'll see you at the next episode. This is Thrive and Dive, thriving in life by diving into deeper conversation.